San Francisco's prosperity is legendary. Even its Chinese name, Zhoujinshan, means Old Gold Mountain. You can leave your heart here, but you better bring your wallet to Beijing, where the business arena is just as competitive as the Olympic Stadium. In this episode, these mascots are not only must-have Olympic items, they help pay for the Beijing Games. And even the most entrenched government agencies get a touch of Olympic fever. And if it leads to a small profit, where's the bad? Then how a printing company went all out and won a publishing gig for the 2008 Games. And how two international companies, Lenovo and Atos Origin, are seizing an Olympic-sized opportunity to improve their balance sheets. Finally, Olympic-driven tourist demand is challenging China's travel industry like nothing it's faced before. All coming up on Beijing Are You Ready? Hosting a 16-day event as big as the Olympics isn't cheap. There are venues to build, athletes to house, and an entire city to renovate. So it makes sense that licensing Olympic logos and mascots can raise a little money for the Games. While the main funding for the Olympic Games comes from sponsorships, the take from merchandising isn't exactly chump change.
Considering the previous Games and the actual situation in China, we are thinking of collecting somewhere like $50 million US.
That may not seem like much compared to the estimated $1.3 billion it's costing to put on the Olympics, but the idea is to get the message out about the Games and make some money doing it.
It's a kind of opportunity for us to communicate to the public, see what the Olympic Games is, what are the logo, mascot, for people to easily get touched, with the Olympics. Because sometimes when you're talking about construction, it's always, it's not our business, it's part of the government. What can we do? What can we individually do for the Games? Buying the products so they can contribute.
Here's how it works. Every time you buy an Olympic product, you're helping put on the Games. A percentage of the price goes toward the Olympics, but retailers also profit from the sale of licensed goods.
From 5% to 15%. It may vary, from product to product, but each product we have to collect a royalty, which means the consumers, any consumer who buy the products, they are contributing to the Olympic Games.
It's estimated that by the time the Olympics begin, up to 7,000 different licensed products will be on sale at more than 10,000 outlets across China. The official logo of the Games is central to the marketing and sale of Olympic goods, and there was a fierce competition to create it.
And we sent out invitation to all countries in the world, and altogether we received about 1,985 entries. And later on, we actually selected 10 of them, top 10 of them. And then we decided that the seal, the Chinese seal, I think is the best designing. This emblem, stands for a running figure,
yes,
waving its hand to embrace victory.
Oh.
And it stands for a hospitable and vigorous Beijing opening her arms to welcome the rest of the world. And also, the seal actually was also a cultural symbol of China.
The Beijing Olympic Committee has licensed more than 20 categories of merchandise. To get a coveted license to design, make, or sell merchandise for the Games, both the manufacturers and their products have to meet strict commercial standards. International retail licenses are also being granted, so Olympic fans in the United States can buy souvenirs at home.
Mascot is one of the most popular products people have been enjoying. Pins also very popular. Sports apparel, which display the atmosphere, the sports oriented. So I think these are the three I should say people have been enjoying so much.
China doesn't do anything small, so why stop at 1 or 2 mascots when you can have 5?
Beijing Olympic mascots consist of 5 figures. They represent Bei the fish, Jing the giant panda, Huan the Olympic flame, and Ying the Tibetan antelope, and also Nini the swallow. And I think those 5 mascots will serve as little ambassadors for the Beijing Olympic Games.
The mascots were carefully named to deliver a message.
When you put the names of the mascots all together, they read Beijing 欢迎你. In English, it means welcome to Beijing.
Given its reputation as a knockoff haven, China is now faced with the problem of fake merchandise in its own backyard. These official Olympic T-shirts are a lot more expensive than the souvenir T-shirts you'd find for, say, the Great Wall. That encourages people to look for knockoff Olympic products. But there are higher penalties for selling fake Olympic items than imitation Chanel or Prada. You'll be charged with stealing and put in jail if you peddle counterfeit goods with the Olympic logo.
But we do, try very hard to crack down all those, counterfeiting for the fake stuffs. Because you sometimes can find the fake mascot along the street, but we try to work with the local government to crack down all those illegal activities. And from our side, we try to do a kind of counterfeiting. We have a tag, which is a hologram with the price. Okay, people can easily identify it is authentic products. So go to the authentic licensed stores, try to get the authentic products.
Official Olympic goods have a special label with a barcode and a toll-free phone number, so consumers can easily check their authenticity by tracing them back to a licensed store. And once the games are over, these souvenirs will not only remind people of China and the Summer Olympics, but of their contribution to the games. Even the most entrenched government agencies get a touch of Olympic fever, and if it leads to a small profit, where's the bad? Like her American counterpart, the Chinese Postal Service, China Post, can't pass up a chance to issue a commemorative stamp, and the 2008 Games are no exception. A beautiful book that includes the moving friendlies. These are the friendlies for the Games. Now, if you look here, these are the stamps that have been issued so far with the pictograms of the sports themselves. But look at this. Can you see with the hologram that the friendlies are moving? Kind of neat, isn't it? They go into action. Each friendly has its own characteristic. And once again, you get another set of each of the 4 stamps that are available. This is a compilation of almost all the stamps. And it starts out with the representation of Beijing. This is the Chinese knot. You'll see it often in things that represent China. It especially means good luck when it comes to money. This is the official Olympic seal, and Summer just told me it's also a symbol of dancing Beijing. This is a traditional Chinese symbol that you'll find often on a stamp, and I don't mean a postage stamp, I mean a mark, or the calligraphy that you'll find on an artist's mark, often called a chop. These are the friendlies, and they are going to be so popular throughout the world.